All of you, welcome back to yet another video. In this video, I'll give you a quick walkthrough about the crowdfunding project we have built on the channel. We got an amazing response. Some of you have some doubt. That's what I'm going to clear. And many of you have included this project in your portfolio, increase your understanding that how you can take this crowdfunding system in a decentralized way as a marketplace. So this is one of the projects which you have to include in your portfolio. So this is where we left in the project. I hope you guys have watched the entire project and that we have coded every single thing from scratch. In this video, we're going to talk about few important things that recently Node 20 is released. And if you are using Node 20 in your system, then Hardhat might not work. So I'll show you the both way that if you want to use Hardhat in your system, you can go with the Hardhat in the local environment, or if you want to use the test network, you can go in that way. So I'm going to cover the both method in this video, so you will not stuck if you are using Node 20 or you are using the Node version I'm using, which is 100% compatible with Hardhat. So this is where we left in the project. I hope you guys have followed the entire project. Make sure to follow that. So first thing you have to do is you have to open up your terminal. If I take you to the browser, so if you have Node 20 installed in your computer, so the recent version of Hardhat will not work because it is compatible with this particular version. So simply come here and type node-v. It will give you the Node version. So this particular version is 100% compatible, which you can use to deploy the contract and test in your local environment. But if you are going with the 20, this one, it might not. I will show you both the way that how you can simply use remix ID for deploying a contract and copy the address and provide in your project. That's the one option you have, or you can simply downgrade your Node version to this particular one and it will work fine as well. So make sure you have to use this one if you want to use the Hardhat. And Hardhat is such a powerful tool which you have to use as a blockchain developer because you're going to fork, you're going to test, you're going to do a lot of things. So you need Hardhat for testing and development. So let's start with the first Hardhat, that what you have to do. So once you will download the source code, or if you have coded, this is the exact piece of code you will have in your end. So this is the contract we have written. It's pretty huge and we have built a lot of logic. This is the pages we have, like this is the single page application. This is the component. That looks pretty fine. You can see this is the component all we have built. And when you will download the source code, you will get this artifact and cache. So let me show you from beginning. So first simply delete this one, delete this one, delete the cache as well. So that's the first thing you have to do. Again, I have covered every single thing in the projects. I would encourage you to simply follow the complete project. That will teach you that what exactly we are building and how we are building all the logic. So make sure to follow the complete project. But let's come back here in the code. So this is what I have. You can see this is the setup I have done for the Mumbai. So this is the for the Mumbai. If you want to use the localhost, you can simply do that. But here I'm going to do with the Mumbai and the localhost as well. I'll show you the both way. Let's start with the localhost. So first thing you have to do is you have to install the libraries. So if I come back to the package.json file, here you will find that we are using all of these libraries. So make sure you have to install the exact version, as I have already provided you the starter file, and that you will have this exact version. Make sure to use the exact version. This is the exact version you have to install and it will work fine. So no matter when you are watching this particular project. So make sure to open up your terminal, and now simply type npmi. And if you type npmi, it will install the package. And you can see that we have like Hardhat also here. So Hardhat is compatible with this particular Node version. As I told you, if you have any other version, it might fail. But in my case, it's installed successfully because I have used this particular version to start my local blockchain. So simply split your terminal and you have to type npx hardhat node. So this is the command you have to type and hit enter. This will start the local blockchain in your system. So you can simply deploy the contract and test. You can see our Hardhat is running absolutely fine. Now we have to simply deploy the contract. And when we'll deploy the contract, it's going to give us the artifact and the ABIs, which we need. So let me see. This is the command for deployment. This is the command for deployment in the localhost. So npx hardhat run -- network localhost script deploy, because inside the script folder, we have our deploy script. We haven't made any changes. You have to make it exactly the same way because this is the specific configuration we have to do as per the node, as per the hardware version we are using. So once you have to do that, now simply hit enter. This one is going to deploy the contract and here it's compiled successfully and we got the address. and here it will create this artifact. Inside this artifact we'll have the ABI which we need. So this is the old ABI. I'm going to simply remove it because I have to show you, and simply drag and drop here. This is the ABI we got up. Now you have to simply copy this address, come back here in the context, go to constants, and this is the exact address it will generate, because by default Hardhat takes the very first account. So when you will deploy a contract using Hardhat will use this very first account for deployment. And if you want to import any one of this account, all you have to do is to simply copy this private key of that particular account and come back here, open up your MetaMask, and here I'm already connected with my localhost. You can see that. And if you want to add the localhost network in your MetaMask, all you have to do is to click here, click on this add network. Is going to open in the new tab, and here you will find all the network which you want to add. So if you want to go with any one of these network, you can definitely add that, but in my case I want to add localhost. So if I come back to the network, you can see I have already added my localhost. So this is the exact information you have to provide. This is the RPC endpoint you have to provide. This is the chain ID, and this is the ETH, and you have to save it. Or you can simply click on this add new and click on this add network manually, and it will give you this option, and you have to fill out the exact details. Hope now you know that how you can simply add the local host in your MetaMask. So once you're done with that, now simply close down. Make sure you are connected with the account, and you can see this is the fund got detected because this is the account I have used. So this is the account number 1 which I have imported, and Hardhat used this particular account to deploy the contract. That's why it has some less fund here. So these are the things you have to do. Once you're done with that, now all you have to do is to simply start the application. So make sure to copy and provide the exact address. Now type npm run dev, and this will start the application on localhost 3000. So you can simply copy this particular endpoint, and that's what you have to simply paste here. So I'll come back here, open a new tab, I click here because this is what I have saved, and you can see it's working absolutely fine. If I simply switch my network to different network, like if I go with the like Mumbai, and if I simply going to reload the page, it's going to fail. The transaction will fail, and you will get an error as well. So you can see if I come back here right now, you can see I'm getting undefined and 0. But sometime what will happen that you will get an error, network error. So make sure when you are testing your contract locally, you have to connect with locally. And here you can see I'm getting this undefined. This is the message I'm getting. So all you have to do is simply come back here, and you have to switch your network back to localhost. The moment I will do, I'm back here, reload the page, and if I come back here, you can see still I'm getting this undefined because there is no data in our contract. So now we can utilize that. Now before you test this particular application, you have to clear the MetaMask history, because if you don't do that, your transaction is most likely to fail, and this is the weird problem we have in Hardhat in the MetaMask. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I can call the blockchain coder, and I'll give a description. So I'll simply copy from here. I want to raise a fund like 45 ETH, and this is the deadline I'm going to pick. So I'm going to go with this one, and now I'll click on this create, and the transaction will fail. If I click here, you can see it will pop up and the transaction is failed. Nothing happened. If I show you here, the transaction is failed because the MetaMask is keeping the previous transaction history. You can see this is the previous transaction history. So I have to clear that. Click here, advanced, and clear all of this. Once I do that, reload the page. Now I have no more error, and now I can create that. So I can simply select the coder. I can give the description, the same description. I can want to raise, this time I want to raise 100, and I'm going to pick my date. So I'm going to say something else I can pick, and click on this create campaign. We got the address, click on confirm, and the transaction is successful. You can see we got the hash, and we have no issue. We have successfully created the transaction. Simply reload the page, close this one, and here you can see this is the one campaign I have. If I want to donate some fund into this, I can simply donate that. Click here, and I want to donate like 50 ether. Obviously it's a test one. I can click on this donate, and it's going to open the MetaMask. I can simply click on confirm, and here I have donated the amount successfully. So 50% donation. This is the marketplace, all the campaign listed, and here we have that your created campaign. So whatever campaigns you will create, that's all going to listed here. And here you will find all the campaign which user will create here. I hope you guys have understood that how things are coming together. Okay, this looks pretty fine. So this is how you can test the application in your local environment, in your local machine. Again, I'm telling you, if you want to use Hardhat, which we have used in the project, in this particular one, like in this particular one, we have used the Hardhat. If you don't want to use Hardhat, you can simply skip that contract folder. Inside that, you have to write the exact contract. Write the exact contract. And now let me show you that how you can deploy this contract to a Polygon Mumbai test network. So you can simply avoid this Hardhat if you are encountering error related to the node version. So you can simply bypass that. Now let's start with that. So simply do one thing, select all and copy. That's the only thing you have to do. Now we're going to come back to the remix ID. So open a new tab, click on this remix ID, and here it's opening. Here I have opened remix ID, and this is the exact step you have to follow. So make sure to open remix ID in your browser and pick your default workspace. You will have a couple of folders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this contract. Inside that, I'm going to create a file contract. So this time I'll call it this called crowd. I'll say test.sol. You can call whatever you want to your file, and I'm going to simply paste the contract which I have created. So this is the contract crowdfunding. I have simply paste. You can see it's compiled successfully. We have no issue in our contract. Now what you have to do is come back here in the deploy, and this time we're going to use the Polygon test network. So first thing I have to do is I have to switch back to my Polygon. So I'll come back here, and I have already added the Polygon test network to my MetaMask. So I'll simply select that. In your case, if you don't have that, let me show you how you can get it. So you can see I have come to my account number 6, and it has some free Matty which I'm going to use for deploying the contract. So let me come back here and let me see. I'm connected to the Mumbai. Why it's taking a little bit time for fetching the balance. So I have connected my account to 6, and the funny thing is that I had one Matty, test Matty in this particular account, but some of you have used this because I exposed my private key, and I believe that some of you have withdrawn the fund. That's why you should never expose your private key in this kind of tutorial, because your private key is very important. If someone's know your private key, they can easily able to withdraw the fund. And that's the same thing happened with me, because this is my test account, and in the morning I have close to 1 Matty, like 1.5 Matty, but yesterday I made a video, someone have drained. So I have to switch back to my account 1. So I'm going to simply come back to my account 1, in that I have free this much Matty, which is sufficient for me for deploying the contract. And here I will select this one, injected provider. So make sure to select that, and once you select that, it's going to fetch your balance and your account. Now in case if you don't have the Mumbai test network added in your MetaMask, so you can add it very easily. Come back here, type polyscan. So come back to the polyscan and simply scroll all the way down, and here you will find a button. So right now I'm on the main net, so you can click and you can add the main net in your MetaMask. If you want to add test net like Mumbai, click here and go to the Mumbai test network, and you can simply scroll down and you can click on this add to test. You can see I have already added, so it's displaying that. But if you don't have, so it will add automatically in your MetaMask, and you will have all the details. This is the exact step you have to do to add Mumbai network to your MetaMask. So once you're done with that, now you need to have a couple of funds. So if I open that, you can see I have this much fund which I can use for deploying the contract, because I need fund for deploying. So to get some free Matty, you can simply come back to the Acme faucet, click on this, click on the very first link, and here you will find bunch of network which you can pick for deployment. So I'll go with the Mumbai. I'll click here, and here I have to simply provide my address. So simply copy, and I'm going to copy the address, and that's what I'm going to provide it. Call send me Matty, and it's going to send the Matty successfully. You can see it's transfer the fund. If I open that, you can see I will get a couple of fund. Right now it's 4. It was 2 earlier, now it's 4. Now I'll come back here in the remix ID, and now it's time to deploy this particular contract. So we are connected. Make sure to connect with the Mumbai. This is the chain ID, this is your wallet address, and I'm going to simply pick the contract. So this is the only contract we have here. Now click on this deploy. If you click on this deploy, it's going to open the MetaMask, and you have to confirm the transaction. So click on this confirm, and here the transaction is happening. If you open the MetaMask, you can see the transaction is happening, and finally the transaction is completed. and here you will find the contract instance. So you can simply interact with your contract right from here, but we need this particular address because our contract is successfully deployed on Polygon Mumbai. So copy this one, and this is what we're going to utilize in our project. So come back here. All we have to do is to come back to the context, and here we have to simply provide the address. So this one is for the test network, so I'm going to simply replicate it, and I'll say, let's say local host testing Hardhat. This one is for the Hardhat, and this one is the Mumbai. So I'll say Polygon Mumbai, and I'm going to simply replace the address. So this is the address which we have copied from here. This is the address. Now you might have one question that for interacting with our contract, we need the API. So this is the API which Hardhat generated whenever you deploy the contract. But if you're not using Hardhat, how you can simply compress and get this particular API. So I will provide this in the startup file, so you don't need to generate. You can simply copy from there and you can simply provide here. But in case if you are doing any modification in the contract, then you can simply create the API, and that's the API you have to provide, because when you will do any modification, the variables and the data type will be changed in the API, and you have to provide the updated API here. There is tons of way which you can use it to generate the API. That's why I'm not covering that. There is a EtherJS package which you can use to generate the API. So this is what you have to do. All you have to do is to simply provide the address here. Once you're done with that, now we can simply use and run our application. So I'll open up my terminal. You can see we can simply stop the application from running because right now we don't need this. Close this one, close this one as well, because we are not using Hardhat. We have deployed our contract. Now all you have to do is to simply run the application. Type npm run dev. This is what you have to do. Simply do that and come back to the browser. Let me close all of these existing tabs, leave it, and here you can see that we are getting this particular error because earlier we were testing our contract locally and we have stopped the application and we have deployed our contract to the Polygon Mumbai. So we have to do one little change. What do you have to do? Come back here in the context, in the crowdfunding, in this particular file, and here we have to do one changes in one particular place. So if you simply scroll down here we have this particular function called get campaign, and here we have to provide the RPC endpoint of the network where we have deployed our contract so it can fetch the information. So if I come back to the Hardhat config file, I have this. Here we have this one. You can see this is the one I have created, or you can simply come back to this particular website, ARNK RPC. This one is a very popular website which will give you like RPC endpoint for almost 30 plus website. So simply click here because we have deployed to the Polygon Mumbai. Click on this testnet, and this is the RPC endpoint we need. Simply copy that one, come back here, close this one, go to the file crowdfunding, and here you have to simply provide this endpoint. You have to provide here. Now simply copy this one, and the same thing we have to do here, and the same thing we have to do here. Paste here and save it. These are the two places you have to provide. Get user campaign. This will give you the information. Now here we have this one. Now if you save it, come back to the browser, and we have no more issue. The error is gone. So this is the one way which you can configure your RPC endpoint, and there is another way. So I hope you guys have followed the project, and here we have this one. Web3 model we have already used in our project. You can see this is the package we have, so we can utilize that one. All we have to do is to simply copy this particular piece of code. This particular code will automatically find out that which network we are connected. So simply copy and come back here. Let me comment this portion, paste here. Now bring it back here. This is the exact thing you have to do. Now do the same thing from here as well. Comment and provide that. Save it, and this will fix the issue as well. There is no error. Now we can simply interact with that. Now if I want to create the campaign, I can simply give the name. I'll say, let's call it Daulat. I can give the description, paste here. You can give the target amount, you can pick the date, and simply click on this create campaign. It's going to open the MetaMask automatically. Here we have confirm, and the transaction is happening on the test network. So it's creating. Just wait, it's going to give you the data soon once the transaction is completed. So just wait. And it's taking a little bit time, I don't know why, but soon it will complete. And finally the transaction is completed. You can simply reload the page, and here you can see the one campaign right in front of you. You can simply open that, and you can see we are getting this particular error. The same thing we have to do. So we have to get into the donate function, and here we have this web3 model. Here we have this get donation. Same thing, come back here, and we have to simply provide that. So the same thing we have to do, simply copy this one, and scroll all the way down, and here you have to simply provide the model, and it's going to fetch out the network we are connected. Let me remove this extra contract, and looks fine. If you save it, come back, reload the page, you can simply come back, open it. Now we don't have an issue. You can simply donate the funds. So I'll go with very less. I'll click on this donate, and it's going to open the MetaMask. You can click on this confirm, and here the transaction is taking place. So when the transaction is complete, it's going to fetch out the information, and it will display right in the component. So here the transaction is completed, the page is reload, and if you see, this is the fund, we got the donation. This one is not working, so we have to simply do the changes, come back here, and so this is the get donation, this is the check wallet. If we are connected, it looks fine. Here we have this one, no need to do any changes, and come back here, let's replace this one. Here we have this get user, so we have already provided that connections, and here we have added this particular filter which allows us to filter all the campaign and show only the campaign which is created by the user. So here you can see that I have done the hardcode address, but you can make it dynamic. So to make it dynamic, all you have to do is come back here. So we already have a function in our application. We have this particular function, we already have this particular function. Simply copy this particular function. Again, everything is covered extensively in the project, so I would suggest you to follow that complete project. Simply come here, this is the what we got it. Now here we have to do the changes, so I'm going to simply remove this particular portion, and I'm going to simply return the address. So simply say return, and we have to return the account first. I want to take very first address. So once we have the address, this particular function is going to return the address of the user. So let's change this to get address. Okay, this is the function we have, and now we're going to simply call this particular one. So this is the internal function we have. Scroll all the way down here, and I'm going to simply call that here. So I'll say const address, let's say await, paste the function. Once we have that, now we have to simply make the comparison. So simply copy and provide it here, save it to lowercase. So make sure to do this. Simply take the address, convert it to a lowercase, then we can match it and save it. Come back to the browser, reload the page, and here we got it. Okay, it's our dynamic one. Again, every single thing is covered extensively in the project, so I would encourage you to follow that. That will teach you a lot of things. So this is how you can do that, and whatever update I have done, that's I'm going to provide you in the updated code. So when you will download the source code, final source code, you will get that. So that's all I'm going to provide that. So this looks pretty fine. This is how you can make it dynamic. This is how you can make it to a specific blockchain, because sometimes what happened that we restrict user to use our application to a specific blockchain, not in all the blockchain. So this is how we do it. So this is the check correct wallet function, and here we have this, and we have this particular function which I created for the tutorial purpose in the project. So you can simply check that what exactly it's doing again. So that's the only thing I want to cover in this video. I hope you guys have understood that what logic we have to implement and what are the setups you have to do to execute this particular application in your system. This is one of the project which you have to include in your project. Look at the smart contract part and then analyze that what are the things we have included here. So this is really powerful. So that's the only thing from my end. If you have any question, any doubt, do let me know in the comment section, and you can simply come back to the blockchain coder. Here you will find all the resources about the project which we have built, and that's always provided to all of you guys. So you can simply click here and you can watch the video. And recently I have launched this particular course. A lot of students have already joined, and we are getting some phenomenal response. So if you want to master complete blockchain development, then check this particular one. check out the modules, the programming language, the crash courses, and what project exactly you're going to build. So again, I would say that come back and build this particular project that will teach you a lot of things. So with that, I'm ending this video, and that's the only thing from my end. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.